Can we all just admit that Super Mario Galaxy 1 was not the best release on the Wii? A couple of weeks ago, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 were released on the Switch as a bundle, and man, seeing that just kind of made me sad. So I want to take you way back to 2006. There I am, the Wii just came out, I'm happily playing Animal Crossing and Super Mario Sunshine on my GameCube, and what do I hear? We got a new Mario game coming out. Fast forward a year, in 2007 we got Super Mario Galaxy releasing. And I'll tell you what, I put it in, I played it for a little bit, and I just really didn't like what I was seeing. But I really couldn't articulate why back then. So I recently picked up a copy, put it back in and played it again. And I liked it more than I remember I did. But I wanted to make a video talking about what I didn't like. And sorry to say, I never played Super Mario Galaxy 2. So maybe it is the superior one and it's a ton better. But this video will be going over some complaints about Super Mario Galaxy. For one, Mario just feels slow. He just feels heavy and sluggish in this game. Coming from Sunshine, where he was really fluid and bouncy and flipping all over the place, right away I noticed he's slower in the air, he's slower walking around, and as an example, when you're trying to do the kickflip backwards, which you can still do thankfully, in the GameCube, you rocked the controller forward and back really fast and it did a kickflip really quickly. In this one, you have to wait for the slide animation to play, then whip the controller back and he'll do the backflip. He just, on the whole, feels slower and more difficult to control. Now, I have a guess as to why they did that. Since he's now moving up, down, and all over spinning planes, he needed to be a little bit slower to make sure that we could control him better. It just kind of fits in with the overall theme of it. So if he was flying all over the place, it would be awfully difficult to control. But that kind of segues nicely into my second problem that I have with it. What I don't like at all is that all of these worlds, they're like floating rocks and voids. They're not exciting, there's no continuity to them. I know there's variation in how they look, but I mean, ultimately it just boils down to rocks and pipes. And then you play mini games to unlock these stars that shoot you to other rocks with pipes. And there's black holes everywhere trying to suck you in. Let's go back to Sunshine, which I feel is just far superior. All those zones in there were zones. Every mission was in the same location, and there was continuity. When you go to Rico Harbor, you're in Rico Harbor. The music changes, it's awesome. There are familiar set pieces, there's familiar things going on. But in Galaxy, as soon as you leave the world, you never go back again, especially once you get all the stars, which I suppose would make sense. It's an easier way to add variety to the game that wouldn't otherwise be there. If you needed to revisit all the time, you'd have a smaller amount of worlds. And there's even one-off worlds. I'm not really complaining about the variety and all the options that the player's getting. I'm just more complaining that I don't think it's all that exciting. I don't think I unlock a new galaxy and say, boy, this is radically different than the one I was just in. The music is amazing. I'll give you that, no problem. The graphics look great. The Wii was amazing. The game technically plays fine. I just think it's too far removed from what I was expecting to really say, oh, I loved it. Yeah, I would play it again in a heartbeat. And this one's just kind of nitpicky, but Charles Martinet just sounds different to me. It's just weird. Mario sounds weird in this game. This is not a slam at Charles Martinet. I think he sounds different and weird. Ironically, the non-gamers in our house growing up were the ones that played this. I think because it was less input intensive. Super Mario Sunshine is a difficult game. If you didn't grow up with it and if you don't understand it and the way the mechanics work, it's tough. It's on the harder side of games. I made a whole video about how Miyamoto regrets making it as hard as they made it. But because Galaxy is so slow, I think it's much more accessible. And that interview that I'm referencing was not a new interview with Miyamoto reflecting on his career and the games. That was contemporaneous to the release of Sunshine. I made another video about how I liked older stuff. Like, I liked the older Tales games more than the new Tales games, and I was hit a lot with people saying, oh, well, it's just rose-tinted glasses. You liked it because you were a kid when it came out, and you don't like the new stuff because it's different than the stuff you remember. Counterpoint to that very well may be true, but counterpoint to that here, I was a kid when this game came out. So, as a kid, didn't like it. And that was something crazy to me. I never thought a Mario game would not be my cup of tea, but here we are! I also hear a lot that the sequel is a lot better, so I guess you're getting the 2 in the bundle. I mean, the price is a little bit ridiculous, but if you're getting 2 in the bundle, you at least have that. I also have a copy of the second one. I've never played it because, again, I disliked the first one so much that there wasn't really anything. I wasn't like chomping at the bit to get some more of this Super Mario Galaxy action. And I mean, I guess we could talk about hub worlds. I do like the hub world a lot in Galaxy. I like the spaceship. I like that as you continue to unlock stars, you turn the lights on more and more, and more of the station gets power back, just like in Sunshine, how the island got sunnier the more shines that you collected. So I can't really argue there. I mean, they kept what worked in that aspect. They just broke it out, so now instead of going into the different zones through different set pieces, you're going to little observation decks, and you're looking out at the galaxies to pick the ones you want to get. The whole thing just felt kind of gimmicky, and I hate saying that. I know it's a beloved game. This was obviously some people's first 3D Mario game, and good for them, but it was super gimmicky. I don't like the star bits. I don't like that you need to collect them and feed them to Lumas to make them grow, to unlock new stuff. It's just another thing I need to be worrying about. It's like, imagine if collecting coins was necessary to unlock more of the game. And while it could be argued like, yes, well, more stuff to do is never a bad thing, I don't know. When I'm in the middle of platforming around, I have to switch my attention over to these little twinkling things and pick them up with the Wiimote. The whole thing just feels a little gimmicky. That's where I leave it. I'd love to hear what you guys thought about 1 versus 2. What'd you think about the new announcement on the Switch? And hey, I recently put together a viewer-requested video about elves in gaming, so check that out. And hey, if you have anything you'd like me to go over, or a different topic you'd like to hear me talk about, let me know in the comments.